Look at this picture. What do you see? You see a clear-cut pass which Saka can do, which could lead to a Gyökeres goal. But thankfully, in that situation, Ben White came to the rescue with a great assist and Gyökeres scoring at the bridge. Now, I want to talk to you about one more thing. When Saka was involved with Gyökeres' celebration, what did Gyökeres do? Pushed him out the way. Now, fans have been talking about this online, and it's something that I think kind of flew over our heads during the game because obviously we were so focused on winning. And it looks like there's a bit of a rift between Gyökeres and Saka, maybe some other players, because when was the last time you saw Saka pass to Gyökeres? When was the last time you saw it?
I'm still waiting for it to happen.
Exactly. So just some things that we kind of picked up, after the game's done, and some of these interesting things that we miss as fans that could play a part in why we don't see a certain player being passed to or scoring enough goals. And I'm not saying Gyökeres is the best striker in the world if he got a pass and he'll finish every goal, but there's so many opportunities and windows which you see from Gyökeres making runs, and he's just not receiving the ball. So I don't know if Saka's, I want to say jealous, but he doesn't feel like Gyökeres is probably Arsenal level. Probably that's why he doesn't trust him with the ball. Or, in fact, Ødegaard probably feeling the same way. I don't know. How do you feel?
I think it's something that I've been saying for quite a few months now. I said I think that there is something going on with the wingers and how we play and the lack of kind of service that Gyökeres is getting. And I'm finally, I mean, it's a negative situation, but I'm
Yeah.
finally glad that people are starting to open their eyes. Because I was saying this months ago that Gyökeres is not receiving the support that he needs and the service that he needs in order to score or even have chances on goal. And what the game against Chelsea proved it because he was through, literally through on goal, and Saka chose to go back. And I think it was one of the pundits after the game were mentioning about how it's to do with maybe the footing of the players. You got a left-footed player playing on the right side. He wants to cut back on his left. You've got a right-sided player playing on the left side. Wants to cut in on his right. I don't think that's an excuse. If you're playing at the Premier League level, you are definitely able to use both feet. I mean, you've seen it numerous times on numerous occasions Trossard whipping a ball with his left foot, generally in the air. What's stopping Saka, one of the best right
It's
wings in the world
it's
from
it's
doing
so
yeah.
true, yeah. It's so true. Because one game when Madueke played when Saka was out injured, he had 10 crosses in the box. Madueke crossed the ball more than Saka. And I think what we saw yesterday was a lack of, I don't know if it was communication or it's the Arteta game plan, but there's something not right when it comes to Gyökeres, Ødegaard, and Saka. Because Saliba's finding um, Gyökeres. Zubamendi almost set up
From
Gyökeres.
deeper positions as well, to
Yeah.
just mention.
And as a number 10 or number 8, whoever you are playing behind the striker, whether it's Ødegaard or Eze, a striker like Gyökeres making runs in behind is your dream. Because Zubamendi made a run in behind against Aston Villa and he scored perfectly fine. So it's like Ødegaard could see him, but he can't see how tall is Gyökeres? Like
Six foot two,
yeah, six
six
foot
foot
two
three.
striker. So I don't know. There's something not right. And obviously in the tunnel, we saw Declan Rice having an argument with one of the Arsenal trainers. Thankfully, Gabriel got in the way. Hopefully, that's not a big deal either. But yeah, we don't want rifts in this football club because we have great players, but also don't want players to get ahead of themselves where they think they're better than the club or they're better than other players. Like Arsenal's supposed to be a family. There should be togetherness. And when you see Gyökeres push Saka, obviously we're probably reading it as what we're reading it as is a negative thing. But
But the other thing is though, it's the fact that if it was true
yeah,
and it was that case, no one's surprised. Which means it's a real thing that's kind of present.
yeah,
I mean, look, you take it from Ben White. He took one look up after he received that ball, gave it a little touch, took one look up, and it was the slightest of looks, and still said to himself, "I'm just going to go for it. I'm gonna whip that ball in. We'll see what happens, and we'll hope
yeah,
for the best." I mean, we've got a 6'2" beast up front. And I'm going to call him a beast because he manhandles people, but he's a beast up front. If he's going to get on the end of it, at least I can say that I've tried to get it to him. If he doesn't, then he doesn't. But it's the fact that they just don't try. And I don't blame him for, flailing his hands in the air. I would do the same thing, you know?
it's a proper tricky situation. But that's why we're here today because obviously we've got Nottingham Forest on Saturday, and we're gonna go through the lineup obviously. But it's just some politics that might be stirring up behind the scenes, which you don't want as a football club, especially when this is probably your best chance to take away the Premier League title,
Mm.
maybe the Champions League. We could, I'm not saying it, but we could do the quadruple. You never know. Like this is how much strength we have in the squad and what quality players we have, and this is the last thing you'd want if that was the case. Obviously, I'm just talking about things that we might notice, but Nottingham Forest beat them already, thankfully.
Yep.
Gyökeres actually played really well that game when we played against Nottingham Forest. And I'm hoping we'll do the same again. Obviously, every game is very, very vital now. I think we've got like 17 or 16 games left
Yeah,
before
more than
the.
halfway. Yeah.
Yeah, so, it's crunch time now. This is where you have to win every single game. There's no drawing and
Mm.
none of that. You've got to win. Man City strengthened Semenyo, obviously, still January. I don't think Arsenal do business this January after there's no been out. I think with Arsenal, they're rather their outgoings at the start of January if they were to bring someone in. And if they do bring someone, who is it and which area do we
Need to bolster.
bolster or reinforce? Because every area is solid right now. Obviously,
Mm.
we have injuries, but then I'm hearing about Mark Gahey. But again, why do we keep trying to reinforce the defense when we have so many defenders? Okay, there's a lot of injuries, but we've always got someone there.
Yeah.
And how big do you want to keep the squad? But
Mm.
yeah, I think
In terms of Nottingham Forest, I just want to say that it's teams like that, teams like Bournemouth, the Brentfords, that no one talks about, that they can cause you some trouble.
yeah,
And we've seen it over the years. Even teams like Man City, they've caused trouble to Man City time and time again. So before anyone on this channel or anyone in the comment section tries to rule out the fact that Nottingham Forest can cause Arsenal some serious damage, just just remind yourselves about the last couple of seasons. So
yeah.
that's why we literally say just take every game as it comes. But yeah, score prediction.
Score prediction. I mean, I'll go through team sheet first. I'm gonna do my score prediction. But in goal, David Raya. Kep obviously played in that cup game against Chelsea. Right back. I'm gonna go with the same back four that played against Chelsea last night. So Ben White right back, right centre back Saliba, left centre back Gabriel, um, left back. I'm gonna go with Timber.
I'm going to agree. I'm going to say the same.
You can go through the midfield.
I'm going to go midfield. I'm going to stick with Rice,
Yep,
Zubamendi,
yep.
and I'm going to go for. I would have loved to have said Eze, but I'm going to go for Odegaard.
I'm gonna say Odegaard sits out this game because we've got Inter Milan on Tuesday.
That's what I'm
So we
thinking.
need to rest some players,
That's what I'm
definitely.
thinking.
So that's another thing. But I'm gonna say Eze instead of Odegaard.
Okay.
Right wing, I'm gonna say Saka, and I think Madueke is gonna be playing on Tuesday, but we'll go through that later on in our next video. So and then up front, I'm gonna say Gyökeres, Glock 14. And then left wing, I'm going to say Trossard. I feel like obviously in Premier League, he's probably more suited to that than Martinelli.
I'm going to say the same, and I'm going to say Havertz is going to come on sooner than he did in the
Yeah,
previous game and the game before that.
yeah,
Because if you notice, he got more minutes this time, and I like
yeah,
the fact that it was Jesus and him on when they played against Chelsea. It was kind of just like that kind of versatility that he has playing behind Jesus, but at the same time can make those good runs just before going in front of Jesus, kind of getting into those danger areas. But I think he will come on sooner rather than later in the match. That's one of my
yeah. I
predictions
hope
as well.
so. But yeah, my score prediction is going to be 2-0 to the Arsenal. I'm going to have my goal scorers. I'm going to say a corner from Gabriel will be a nice little cheeky header set piece. And then I'm going to say Glock 14, Gyökeres.
I
I
hope
think
so.
he was really thrilled to score that goal. It's like he just got a lot of weight off his chest, or he's probably peed off at some of the players in the team that could have got him 2-3 goals last game. But I think Gyökeres is going to be scoring. Because like I said, he scored against Nottingham Forest the last game. So yeah.
Where are we playing? Is it away? Considering that we are playing away, I'm going to go for 2-1. I'm going to say Gibbs White for the Forest. I'm going to say goal scorers for the Gunners. I'm going to go for Declan Rice and Trossard. That's what I'm going to go for. As much as I'd love to say Gyökeres, I'm going to go for Trossard and Declan Rice.
Fair enough. I think, yeah, sounds like a realistic scoreline.
Yeah, it's going to be vital 3 points on the road if we can manage to snatch that from them. Again, like we mentioned before, they are a really good side, and they can't be overlooked because, again, they're playing at home and they've got a really good system there. So we've got to take this game really, really seriously, especially on the road, given that Man City are still right behind us as well, and we're in every single competition. And we just don't want to pick up injuries. So if we can get the goals in early, play safe, that kind of thing I'm hoping for. But I mean, time will tell.
But yeah,
Time will tell.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe below about what you think the match score will be, and if you agree with our scoreline. And the whole thing about Saka and Gyökeres, do you think that is something that you've noticed probably, or are we just speaking a load of garbage, or are we
It's
reading
yeah.
too much into it?
Is it something that actually exists? Does it not
Yeah,
exist? Do you think the headlines are just trying to sell a story? I don't know. I know where I stand. I know where you stand, but see where these viewers stand.
yeah,
Let's go.
but yeah, just let us know in the comments below. Next time we'll see you.